Now, let's sew all parts of these three little animals. The sewing methods for the heads and bodies of all three animals are the same. Here, we will use the Highland cattle as a demonstration. Take out the crocheted head and body. Thread the yarn tail from body onto the sewing needle. Sew the body onto round 14 of the head. Then position the front legs facing the side with the eyes. First, locate round 14 of the head. The very center here is round 1. Lift the hair. This is round 2. Lift the hair. Below the hair is round 3. Round 4. Round 5. Round 6. Round 7. Round 8. Round 9. Round 10. Round 11. Round 12. Round 13. Round 14. This round is round 14. Insert the needle through the hole above round 14. Then pull it out through the hole below round 14. This is how we sew. Let's find the spot to insert the sewing needle. First, position the front legs facing the side with the eyes. Then locate the spot on the head that corresponds to the yarn tail on the back. Once you find the spot, insert the needle above round 14. Then pull it out below round 14. Secure one stitch here first. Continue sewing. Next, insert one stitch above the last round of the body. Then insert one stitch on round 14 of the head. Insert a stitch on the body. Insert a stitch on the head. Insert a stitch on the body. Insert a stitch on the head. Insert a stitch on the body. Insert a stitch on the head. Everyone, just like this. Sew one stitch on the body. Next, sew one stitch on the head. Sew all around the circle until complete. After sewing this round, weave the yarn tail back and forth inside the fabric several times. This step helps prevent the yarn tail from slipping. Then break the yarn. This way, the head and body are securely sewn together. Refer to the Highland cattle sewing method to sew the heads and bodies of the lion and rabbit. Now, let's sew the tails of the Highland cattle and lion. The sewing methods for the tails of the Highland cattle and lion are the same. I will use the Highland cattle's tail as a demonstration here. Take out the crocheted tail. Thread one yarn tail of the tail onto the sewing needle. Then sew the tail to the center of round fur on the back of the Highland cattle's body. First, let's locate the fourth round. Here are the first and second rounds. Third round, fourth round. Insert the sewing needle from below the fourth round. Then pull it out just a little to the side. Then remove the needle. Thread the other yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Next, insert the sewing needle again from above the fourth round. Pull both yarn tails out from the same spot. Pull it tight. Then tie a dead knot with the two yarn tails. Cut off the yarn tails. Push the yarn end into the fabric. And that's how the tail is sewn onto the Highland cattle. Everyone, refer to the sewing methods of the Highland cattle's tail. Sew the lion's tail using the same method. Next, sew the Highland cattle's nose. Thread the yarn tail of the nose through the sewing needle. Then sew the nose onto the Highland cattle's head from round 9 to round 11. We need to position it just below both eyes. Let's first locate rounds 9 to 11. The very center here is round 1. Now lift the first layer of hair. This is round 2. Lift the hair again. This is round 3. Round 4. Round 5. Round 6. Round 7. Round 8. Round 9. Above round 9. Take out the nose. Press the nose onto round 9. Then find the spot to insert the needle. Insert from here. Then secure both ends first. Check if it is exactly centered between the eyes. Pass through. Secure the left and right points first. Then pass above round 9. Then secure one stitch. Pass to round 11. Here are rounds 9, 10 and 11. A sewing needle comes out from below round 11. Then secure one stitch. Then pass through the hole beside it. After securing, sew in order. Pass above round 9. Then sew in order. There is still a small opening here. Add a small amount of stuffing from here. You can use scissors or other tools for help. After adding the stuffing, continue sewing until complete. After sewing one round, conceal the yarn tail inside the nose. Break yarn and neaten it up a bit. The Highland cattle's nose is now finished. Let's sew the Highland cattle's horns on. Take out the crocheted horns and pipe cleaners. Insert the pipe cleaners into the horns. Leave a small section exposed here. Cut off. Then thread the horn's yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Next, sew the horns onto rounds 3 to 5 on both sides of the head. First, let's locate rounds 3 to 5. Round 1. Flip open the first layer of hair. Second round. Third round. This is the third round. Insert the needle from above the third round. Rounds 3 to 4 and 5 bring the needle out from below round 5. Then insert the pipe cleaner into the middle eyelet. Then secure both sides of the horn. After sewing, hide the yarn tail. Weave the yarn tail back and forth inside the fabric several times. Finally, break the yarn. This completes sewing one horn. Use the same method to sew the other horn. This is how the Highland cattle looks after both horns are sewn on. Next, sew the ears onto the Highland cattle. Sew the ears just below the horns. On the 6th round of the head. The spot to sew the horn is on the 5th round. The next round is the 6th round. Insert the needle from above the 6th round. Then pull it out from below the 6th round. Then secure and sew it firmly. Gently pinch the ear a little. This completes sewing one ear. Weave the yarn tail back and forth inside the fabric several times. Break yarn. This is how one ear looks after sewing. Use the same method to sew the other ear. This is how the Highland cattle looks after both ears are sewn. Next, embroider the nostrils on the Highland cattle. Take out the black yarn from the material kit. Pull out 2 strands. Here is 1 strand, then pull out another strand. Thread these 2 strands into the thin sewing needle from the material kit. Embroider the nostrils on the first round of the nose. Insert the needle from any side. Insert the needle above the first round. Then insert it below. Pull it out from the side. Just to ensure both sides are symmetrical. Move it slightly to the side. Pull both yarn tails out from the same spot. Adjust the size of the nostrils. Tie a dead knot with the 2 yarn tails. Trim them shorter to make knotting easier. Push the yarn end into the fabric. Then adjust again. The Highland cattle's nostrils are now completed. Tidy up the hair. Twist the horns to form a curve. And neaten it up a bit. The Highland cattle is now completed. Next, let's sew up the little rabbit. Take out the sewn head and body. Start by sewing the ears. First, thread the yarn tail of 1 ear onto the sewing needle. Both ears are sewn onto the first 3 rounds at the top of the rabbit's head. Round 1, Round 2 and Round 3. The ears are sewn onto these first 3 rounds. Let's start by sewing one ear. First, secure both ends. Then secure the front and back ends. Weave the yarn tail back and forth inside the fabric several times. Break yarn. Then neaten it up a bit. One ear is sewn on. Please sew the other ear on the opposite side in the same way. This is how it looks after both ears are sewn on. Next, take out the rabbit's tail. Thread the yarn tail through the sewing needle. Sew the tail onto round fur on the back of the body. First, locate the 4th round. First round, second round, third round and 4th round. Then insert the needle below the 4th round. Pull the yarn out above the 4th round. Then secure the points first. After securing both ends, weave the yarn tail back and forth inside the fabric several times. Break yarn. Thread the other yarn tail through the sewing needle. Thread the yarn tail inside the fabric. Break yarn. This completes sewing a rabbit's tail. Next, embroider the rabbit's mouth. Take the pink yarn and thread it through the sewing needle. Next, embroider a Y-shaped mouth on the head on rounds 8 and 11 between two eyes. Locate rounds 8 to 11. Right in the center here. These are round 1, round 2, round 3 and round 4. Rounds 5 and 6. Rounds 7 and 8. Insert the needle from any position. Pull it out from above round 8. Insert the needle to stitches apart. Then pull it out from below round 8. These are rounds 8,910 and 11. Insert the needle below round 11. Then pull both yarn tails out through the same spot. Then pull the yarn tight. Shape the mouth. Then tie a dead knot with the 2 yarn tails. Cut off the excess yarn tails. Push the yarn end into the fabric. Then even it up a bit. Lift the cheeks on both sides. And even it up a bit. The mouth is now completed. Let's embroider the patterns onto the ears. Take out the pink yarn. Separate to strands. Thread these 2 strands onto the sewing needle. Take out the rabbit. Insert the needle anywhere. Pull through the top of the ear. Then pull through the bottom of the ear. Then pull back through here. After sewing, pull the yarn to the bottom of the other ear. Both yarn tails come out from the same spot. Tie a dead knot with the 2 yarn tails. Cut the yarn tails. Push the yarn end into the fabric. This completes the rabbit's ear patterns. The little rabbit is finished. Next, let's sew up the little lion. Take out the sewn head and body, along with the crocheted headgear. Place the headgear around the head. Thread the yarn tail through the sewing needle. Pick up the bottom loop on the opposite side. Neaten it up a bit. Tie a dead knot with 2 yarn tails. Then, thread both yarn tails through the sewing needle. Thread the yarn tail inside the fabric. Break yarn. This will secure the headgear in place. Next, sew on the nose. The nose is sewn onto the second round below the eyes. Here is the first round below the eyes. And here is the second round below the eyes. Insert the needle at the middle position. Pull the yarn out from below the second round. Pass the yarn through above the second round. Then secure both ends. Pass the yarn back through. Pass the yarn to the left and right sides. Secure both ends again. Remove the needle. Thread the other yarn tail through the sewing needle. Insert the needle and pull it out from the same spot. Tie a dead knot. Break yarns. Push the yarn end into the fabric. This completes sewing the nose. Now take out the black yarn. Separate one strand. Thread the yarn tail into a thin sewing needle. Insert the needle at any spot on the face. Bring out the tip of the nose above the nose. First, embroider a horizontal line. Embroider back and forth several times. Then embroider a vertical line downward. Then pass the needle through again. Pull the yarn out from the same spot. Tie a dead knot with the 2 yarn tails. Break yarns. The lion's nose is now sewn. Next, let's sew the ears onto the lion. The ears are sewn onto the headgear. Between the second and third layers of hair, counting from outside to inside. This is the first layer of hair. Then, this is the second layer. Gently separate the space between these 2 layers of hair. Make sure the ears are symmetrical, left and right. First, find the matching position. Check to see if they are symmetrical. Once the position is confirmed, we will insert the needle to sew. Thread the other yarn tail into the sewing needle. Pass it inside the headgear. Then pull the yarn tail out from the same spot. Pull it tight. Then, tie a dead knot with the 2 yarn tails. Break yarns. This completes sewing one ear. Please sew the other ear on the opposite side in the same way. Make sure both ears are symmetrical left and right. This completes sewing both ears. The little lion is completed.